My name is Jason JROCK Houston. You guys are listening to an interview being done tonight for Under the Influence. Tonight it's my great pleasure to be speaking with some members of Contenders, which is Los Angeles-based Pretenders tribute band. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing fantastic, man. Thanks for asking.
And of course, Marko, you are the drummer of the band and the founding member. And who else do you got with you tonight?
Actually, I'm here by myself.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess the best place to start, Marko, is could you share with us how you first got into the music of Pretenders?
Well, I'll never forget. I was working for A&M Records at the time, and I was working here in LA on the lot. I was vice president of the promotion and artist development.
Oh.
And the head of artist development, Martin Kirkup, this Brit, used to get English imports in all the time, and I think it was probably whenever the first Pretenders album came out. It was probably in the middle of 1980, or it could have been 81.
Yeah.
When the first album came out, I remember Martin ringing my office, and he said, "Why don't you come on over? We're going to play some music." And it was at the end of the day, and I went over, and we're having cocktails, and he said, "Have you heard this Pretenders band?" I said, "No," and he was going to check it out. And I remember him dropping the needle on the record, and song for song, pound for pound, I could not believe how good this band was. It was kind of like when I was at A&M over at Geffen, and we found Guns N' Roses.
What?
And I remember listening to Appetite for Destruction, track for track, all the way through, or when we signed Nirvana, and I listened to Nevermind, their first album with us from start to finish. And, these were albums that were, like, just complete
Master
of the band. And I thought the Pretenders' first album, like Led Zeppelin, like Jimi Hendrix, like Cream, like The Doors, most of these great bands, the first album was their signature album, and I think it really holds true in case of the Pretenders music.
Well, and now let me ask you. Obviously, you're a musician yourself, and being that you're a drummer, so that's kind of interesting that you work kind of behind the scenes at the record label. I was curious, how did you get in with the record label initially?
Well, I was back in Boston at the time, and I was working in an engineering company, and I wasn't happy with what was going on, and I was kind of a would-be drummer. I had a mediocre drum set, and I used to jam on weekends with friends, but we hadn't really formulated anything yet. And a buddy of mine said you could get a job at this independent distributor in a warehouse picking record orders, but you can graduate through that and promote yourself up into one of the labels, because they host, I think, 90 labels, this independent distributor at the time, and all the label reps would come through. And one day, an Arista rep came through, and they had just started Arista. They had just purchased Bell Records, and Clive was running the company. And he said, "I think they're looking for a marketing rep." Now, at that time in the music industry, in 1973, there were no marketing directors or local marketing reps at any of the companies. And Clive, to his universal wisdom, he pretty much said, "Let's give it a try," because the local promotion guy was the bass player in this band I was messing with, and we were best friends. So he said, "Well, let your friend Richie run the records on the radio side. You go to retail stores, set up promotions around the records, and when we release them, and let's coordinate sales with promotion on the radio."
Wow.
And that was in 1973, and in 1974, Clive Davis was so happy with the job I did, he decided to hire a full staff of local marketing reps, and within 2 years, every record label had local marketing reps. And, in essence, looking back, the very first marketing rep in America in the record business.
Wow, that must have a guy that's into music and musician. That must have been a great way to get your foot in the door as far as getting into the music industry. I mean, you must have had a lot of perks as far as getting to listen to records and stuff before it was released officially.
Well, I was always a promotion man at heart, and when I took on this job, I mean, basically, I said, "I want you to get creative. Go into record stores, go in with album jackets and posters, make displays, put them on the wall, convince the store owner to play our record so people can come in, they'll hear your music, they'll see the display on and it just flipped sales. Well, we had a band, for example, called New York Mary. It was a three-piece jazz fusion rock band. It was basically a jazz band out of New York. And on their album cover, they had a full-dressed Harley Davidson. So I went to record stores and created this promotion on the band, and we had Harley Davidson, and they gave me 3 Harley Davidson to put in each one of the store windows, and we did a 3-month promotion where we gave the Harley away at the end. And, you know, the band never broke, but it broke me, I guess, because it showed how creative I could be. And shortly thereafter, we released the Kinks Sleepwalker album. And if you remember the album cover, it's got Ray Davies and Mime. So I put a live mime inside of every store window displaying the Kinks' new album, Sleepwalker. And no one had ever put live parties in store windows. So once again, you know, I was on the creative tip back then. I would do anything and everything just to try to break a band. And eventually they promoted me into promotion, moved me to Chicago. A&M hired me in Chicago, made me a national artist development and promotion. And then they moved me to LA in 80. And in 83, David Geffen came after me, and I ran Geffen Records as general manager right up till 1991. So I had this great career working for 3 independent companies, from Clive Davis to Herb Alpert and Jerry Moss to David Geffen.
Wow.
And then after that, I formed my own promotion and management company right up till 2002, and then I switched gears because the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
Retail stores were going away. The record business was failing. Napster and music was being downloaded for free. You know, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
And in 2002, I got into residential real estate, and I've been doing that since.
Wow, you know, you've had an interesting career, and you know, I didn't know that about you, and I guess you were at the right place at the right time, because that was the magic days of a record, you know, record labels. I mean, there aren't too many record labels like you were saying these days now, and so, you know, the record industry in a lot of ways ruined it for themselves. I mean, even what you're doing now, a lot of people can just put their stuff up on the internet, and they have total control over their own music. It's in some ways it's a great thing, but in other ways, you know, I kind of miss the days of going to a record store and checking out, you know, all the new releases.
Oh yeah, me too. I mean, I remember when Herb and Jerry moved me on the A&M lot in it was January 1980, and my first week on the job, at the time, Radio and Records R&R was the publication that would post not only the top 10 singles of the week, but they would also post the 5 most added rock albums of the week. And in that week, I had 4 out of 5. My first week of the job, it was Outlandish D'Amour, Police's first album, Squeeze, UK Squeeze, Supertramp, Breakfast in America, and Joe Jackson, I'm the Man. I had 4 out of the 5 most added albums. So I was a busy man. I was on the road with all those bands, including Styx and 38 Special.
Wow.
And
Now,
first year, I was my suitcase was packed the whole time. But it was great. I mean, I remember being with Police in the first American tour. It was Tim Turner, the tour manager, the 3 of them, and me in a van playing clubs with about anywhere from 15 to 30 people in it. And their set list was so short. They would open with their encore song. They would play their whole set of music, and when it came time for encore, they would go, shit, we got to play the first song because it was furthest away in the set. That's all they had.
Wow. Now let me ask you, being a guy that's a musician himself, and you had the success, you know, helping all these, you're very creative with all these other bands you were working with at the label. Did it ever in the back of your mind, you ever think, well, I wonder if I could ever do this for, you know, get a band of my own together and do what I've done for these other bands?
Well, I think it was always in the back of my mind, but the funny thing is, you know, way back in Boston in 71 and 72 when I got my first drum set and was messing around with friends, as soon as I got in the record business in 73,
it just took off.
I pretty much put the sticks down. I didn't know what I was doing on the drums. I was just goofing around. I was not even a halfway, you know, accomplished drummer. So, turn around to 3 years ago, I put together a cover band here in LA, and we were together for about a year and a half, and when that broke up, I met Nicky Z, and we were in a punk band for about 8 or 10 months, and at the ending days of it, we just found
Yeah.
And I remember saying, let's do a cover band, and actually, let's do a tribute band. And I'd like, since you're a female and vocalist, why don't we do, a female-based lead band? And she said, well, what do you think about Blondie? I said, yeah, that's good. What do you think about Heart? What do you think about Contenders? They were all possibilities, but at the same time, it wasn't really hitting home. And I said, how about the Pretenders? And she said, oh, I could do Chrissy. So, it was exciting, the thought of doing Pretenders music. And John McCloy, who was a dear friend of mine on the side, who works with John May, one of the techs, I knew the guy was a real mechanic for guitar. And I couldn't have picked a better guitar player because he is a note-for-note player. And when you're covering Pretenders music, you have to be spot on, or it's just going to sound like another catchy cover band.
Yeah,
and we were fine as the bass player, and Alex Rouen came along, and he had met Mickey at a couple of blues jams, and she said, let's give him a spin, and Alex fit like a glove, so there we are, the four of us.
Wow, and so you said it had been a number of years since you played the drums, so once you picked up your sticks again and started playing them, how long did it take you to get back into the groove of playing?
Well, the cover band I was in over a year. We played a handful of dates, but nothing much. And I don't know, I got to tell you, I knew I was meant to be a drummer.
Yeah.
And I only say that because I took to it like a duck to water. I mean, basically, I was in a cover band, and I played with Dickie. My whole drumming career was less than 2 years, and we formulate the Pretenders, and, you would think I've been playing drums my whole life. It just, there's something about that music and the way the four of us get together. I'm not going to compare the Beatles. I'm not that bold.
Yeah.
Something happens when the four of us get together and play Pretenders music. It's scary.
Wow, and I think you guys are pretty smart because, like you said, you could have done a Blondie tribute, you could have done a Heart, but there's already half a dozen Blondie, especially Heart tributes out there, and I can only think of maybe one other Pretenders tribute in the LA area. So you got to usually have a little niche when you're doing these things, because again, there's thousands of Led Zeppelin tributes and Deep Purple tributes all over, AC/DC tributes. So Pretenders tribute is something kind of special because there's not too many of them out there. So I think you got that going for you.
And I think one of the best things about being a Pretender tribute band is, and I'm talking night after night when we play, people are not only blown away how tight we are, but they forget how many Pretender songs were hit. They're like, I thought I'd know 2 or 3. I knew 6 or 8 or 9 songs. It's amazing. I didn't know their repertoire was that deep. It's kind of like the best unknown secret out there.
Yeah. I mean,
it's like in rock radio. Little Feat was a band that to me got overlooked by radio. Immensely, and that band has, a huge catalog of great rock and roll music. But in regards to the Pretenders too, you're right. It's a band that was kind of overlooked, and I think with the great comparison of how great they are, there's a radio station in Northridge here, KCSN. It's the college radio station, and a friend of mine, Sky Daniels, programs them, and they're commercial free, so that alone makes them great to listen to. And I would say 85% of their music is new music, so I'm always being exposed to new music through the station. But funny enough, in the core of their music, in their gold library, the Pretenders are probably the most played band, more so than U2, more so than R.E.M., more so than Elvis Costello, more so than Bob Dylan.
Wow.
So, it kind of speaks volumes to me of how maybe unknown in some regards, but how great this band really was.
Yeah, and again, being a Pretenders tribute, you got that going for you because, like I said, there's not too many of them out there. And then being the fact that you got a female lead singer, that's another plus, I guess you could kind of say, because that's another thing you guys got to kind of offer, So
absolutely.
So very very smart on your part. Now, let me ask you. When you first got the idea to put this band together and, okay, we're going to do a Pretenders tribute, did you have any reservations at all about, being in a tribute band or anything like that?
I wouldn't say reservations came to mind. I just knew if we were going to do it, I didn't want to be just another cover band.
Yeah.
I leaned towards tribute because I know tribute, if you're really good, I mean really good, you have to play note for note. There's got to be no mistake about it. And Chrissie Hynde, no one sings like Chrissie
Oh,
Hynde.
yeah.
You have to have that bravado. And Nikki emulates her. Nikki actually channels Chrissie Hynde. That's how great she is. It's amazing what she literally transforms on stage.
Yeah, I got to share with you, Marko. Part of the reason I started doing these interviews with guys like you that play in the tribute bands is I've had a very positive experience as far as going to a lot of these tribute shows, and I've enjoyed them for the most part immensely. I can't really say I've seen a bad one yet, but there's a huge percentage of people out there that got this huge, straight misconception that, hey, musicians that play in tribute bands are failed musicians, they could never make it doing their own original thing, and again, that's not been my experience. I mean, number one, like I go on your Facebook page, I'm always looking for bands to interview, and I was impressed with the way the band looked. Like you said, you got the look down, and that's a very important thing as well as being able to play the music, because you're trying to recreate something, you're paying tribute to something, and so the audience is getting a little more than just a band of 4 or 5 people up on stage in their jeans and t-shirts. You're trying to recreate something, and I don't think a lot of people realize all the hard work and dedication that goes into a project like this.
Oh yeah, we've even we're mimicking a lot of the clothing they wear.
Mm-hmm.
Like Nikki's got this beautiful black wig that you can't tell the difference between her and Chrissie. And the first thing I did is I grew the Martin Chambers pointed sideburns. That was my first mission.
Yeah.
And and I try to emulate his style as much as I can. And John, the guitar player, is that guy is just flawless. He's an ace. And Alex on bass, man, he just rides with me. We just drive the bus.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it's amazing how huge the tribute scene has become out here in LA. I mean, for a simple fact that a lot of guys make their money. Of course, it's easier to make a living doing the tribute thing than it is with making having an original project. A lot of these guys, they kind of make a name doing the tribute thing, and I know one guy in particular, he's in a Guns N' Roses tribute, and he kind of got discovered by doing his Guns N' Roses tribute. He went on to play with the original drummer from Guns N' Roses for a few years, and he's gotten some of his own original music out as a result of this tribute thing. So a lot of guys start the tribute thing to kind of give them a door, so to speak, to also do their original projects. So I think that's a cool thing about it too.
Well, it's funny you say that, because Nikki and I were just talking the other night about we have to work up 1 or 2 original songs and maybe find some space in the set to squeeze them in, but they have to be in the vein of a Pretenders style music, because we don't want to all of a sudden, here's an original song and it sounds like someone totally different, like Steely Dan or the Police.
Yeah.
We're playing Pretenders music. It's got to be in that vein, and we're all on board. We're all cool with that, but it's interesting you say that about tribute bands making a living doing it, and it's very true. I mean, the casinos that are peppered up and down the California coastline, they would rather book a tribute band, because their audience that are in there gambling, they want to hear familiarity. They don't want to hear something new that is unrelatable to them. So in certain regards, there's more money to make in that casino world than there is original music, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a funny story here. I don't know if you're aware of the band Steel Panther. They're kind of a tribute act, kind of a tribute to the hair band scene of the 80s. They do their own original music, actually, but they kind of get dressed up like 80s rock guys. And the funny thing is, the singer, his name is Michael Starr. He used to go by the name of Ralph Sanaz, and he started out here in LA, like in 1990. Doing David Lee Roth and the Atomic Punks. That's how he got his start. And then for a brief while, he joined the band LA Guns. They had stuff on MTV and that. And the funny thing is, he was making more money doing the tribute thing, but he actually left LA Guns to go back to his Van Halen tribute. And now he's got this band Steel Panther. And they just got off tour with Judas Priest. So you never know. If you got the right band and the talent, you never know how far you can take the tribute thing.
Yeah, Steel Panther is hybrid, though. They're not really a full-blown tribute because they play everyone's music.
Yeah.
But they are also, it's really like a hybrid of Spinal Tap. I mean, it's almost more comedic than it is just rock and roll. Like, they're a full show. That's a show that could go to Vegas.
Yeah, I mean,
have a residency in one of the major hotels.
I mean, a lot of bands.
For that matter, it could go to Broadway.
Yeah, I mean, it's
There's
just
that kind of mad talent.
Yeah, it's just amazing that how far they have taken that thing, and again, it's a guy that got to start doing paying tribute to David Lee Roth. So and he's actually making a pretty decent living now. So that just goes to show you, if you got the talent, the right band, how far you can actually and a lot of these tribute bands, especially out here, they're actually pretty big names. I mean, you take a band, I don't know if you're aware of like Led Zeppelin. They actually the singer was telling me, Swan, he was actually telling me. They got invited by Robert Plant and the guys when they did that show in London a few years ago that became the CD Celebration Day. They got invited. They got to go see the show because Robert Plant is just a huge fan of what they do. So again, it's just you talk to a lot of these guys. They got pretty amazing stories,
Yeah. Well, listen, you never know where it's going to go, and I had a record producer come down to see us last month, and he produced a lot of REM and John Mellencamp, like a lot of big records in the 80s. And he said to me, he goes, Marko, I think you can quit your day job. He says, you guys are that good. He goes, there's money behind this band. You just got to find the right booking and go at it, because you guys are great.
Yeah, and let me tell. And I think Marko, you got enough experience, and besides your talent, you probably just like you said, you got to hook up with the right people. Because I know this other guy. He's in a tribute band, and he books a lot of his. Not only does he book a lot of his shows, his own tribute shows, but he books shows for other bands. He puts these great tribute nights together. So again, if you got the brains and the know-how and the talent, there's no telling how far you can take this. I think a band like you would be able to get into casinos, but typically, right, from the last, since the time you guys have formed, do you typically play House of Blues places, or what type of venues you guys have been playing?
Well, we've got a residency right now on the third Monday of every month at 9 on Vine, which is a really nice supper club in Hollywood. It used to be M Bar, and it's great because they've got an excellent sound guy there. You don't get your ears blown out, and it's a nice, clean club. They serve food, so I love to invite people down to see us there, because the problem with LA Hollywood clubs, you got to pay to play.
Oh, that's
We're just not going down that road, and that's why we're chasing the casino world and some of the other clubs outside of LA, like down the South Shore along the beaches, Hermosa Beach, Huntington Beach, Newport. Those places down there's a lot of clubs where they just have built-in audiences where there's either 50 to 200 people in there drinking every night, looking just to hear good music. We're just sussing all those out right now, but 9 on Vine has really been good for us. We've gotten great exposure out of it. We're actually playing this Monday the 15th, and we always encourage people to come down because they always leave with a smile on their face.
Well,
they're very glad they came and saw us.
So, being that you guys got a residency there, I guess that's kind of a headlining show for you every time you play that show. And typically, when you play with other bands, are they typically other tribute bands? You play with national acts. What has been your experience with that?
Well, Matt Sorum, the drummer from Velvet Revolver, Guns N' Roses, is a dear friend of mine, and he's got the Kings of Chaos. It's Glenn Hughes, and it's Steve Stevens, and it's Matt Sorum, obviously, on drums, and who else is
I've heard it. I've heard those. Yeah.
And
Duff McKagan, I think.
and Billy Gibbons on guitar also. And there might be a couple of other players, but they're doing big dates and some of the bigger casino shows.
Wow.
They get paid really well, and I've talked to him about letting us open up for them, and that would be a great avenue for us because they're going to pull big crowds. They're just killing it when they play live because they, every one of those band members from Deep Purple to Guns N' Roses and Billy Idol and ZZ Top and all the great bands they came from, they're doing all this for hits. So you're seeing a night of real incredible rock and roll, and that would be a great slot for us to open. But I've got this other REM tribute band called REMulation, and they're on board with us right now. And I'm trying to find one other 80s alternative rock band so I can go to the casinos and pitch a triple package. This way it's done. I can go to the promoter of the casino and go, I got your night's entertainment. Book a couple nights a month. And, if we do that in a half dozen casinos, we're just going to be constantly on the road every weekend. And, and it's nice to be able to bring a package versus just booking ourselves.
Yeah.
And then you never know who you're playing with, and it might be a weird package.
Yeah, I've even seen like a Blink 182, like a No Duh, U2 tribute. So any of even a Blondie, any one of those type of acts, you guys could play with it. And right now, like you've had enough people tell you, Marko, that you and the band, got the talent, and it's right now. I think right now the name of the game for you guys is about getting your name out there. It doesn't necessarily. And you've got the career to back you and the experience. So I think it's just a matter of getting the name out there, and it's not necessarily how fast you get there, as long as you get there,
Right, exactly.
And so how typically do you guys play? Do you play? Well, you said you have a one show at that place every other Monday, but do you pretty much right now play just locally? Do you get a chance to go to other states or anything?
Well, we played Vegas 2 weeks ago. We played at the Hard Rock Hotel and at the Hard Rock Cafe, and we also played this place, the Adrenaline Club, which was in North Vegas, and it was great because there was it's like this huge biker bar that draws 100, 200 people a night, and they book like 5-6 bands a night, and it had this giant stage, and we actually, if you want on Facebook, there's some recent postings from that night. But yeah, we did our first road trip 2 weeks ago. Went and played 2-3 dates in Vegas.
Wow.
And came right back and played 9 on Vine. And we're probably playing 2, 3, 4 gigs a month, but we're just getting going. We're just getting it out there, starting to spread the word.
Well, Vegas is a great place too, because who doesn't love Vegas? But I understand from a lot of people that Vegas is kind of becoming, what LA used to be as far as the music scene. I hear they got a great music scene there that's constantly growing these days.
Well, there's a lot of clubs. Every one of the hotels has casinos, and they all have multiple bars and clubs to play live. But yeah, Vegas. North and South Vegas. There's a lot of residential areas with happening clubs, and they're all paying. That's the good news.
Yeah.
It's hard to make money in LA, so you got to go elsewhere.
Yeah, Vegas.
And we're probably gonna hit Phoenix soon and go in. I know there's 2 or 3 casinos a friend of mine books, so we're gonna try to make our way into there and maybe get some dates in Tahoe. Anything that's within a drive makes sense.
Yeah, Vegas, and a couple other places like that, and even Phoenix, I've heard, they do it smart. Like you said, a lot of these places in LA, they got the pay-to-play thing, which is really a shame. A lot of people don't know. I get invited to shows all the time. People tell me, hey, we got all these tickets that the promoter gave us. We just have to guarantee that we can pack the house. Otherwise, if the house isn't packed, we don't get to play there again. Which is, and they said that way, even if the house isn't packed, the promoter and the club owner, they get their piece of the pie before the band gets theirs.
Right, exactly. Well, listen, we're a work in progress, and I think the biggest thing we have to do now, and I think that's part of the reason we're doing this interview right now, is we just got to get the word out there on the Contenders and let them know that the Pretenders are alive and well, and you don't have to go see Chrissy Hines to experience it. We're right here in LA, and we're viable and ready to play.
Yeah, and see, that's another thing you guys got going for yourself. The Pretenders even still from time to time get together and do a show, do a show here and there every now and then, but they don't tour like they did back in the day. So you guys right now are the next best thing, and of course, if somebody can't afford to go see the real Pretenders, you guys are a lot cheaper too, and from what I can see in the pictures, you guys appear to look just as good.
Yeah, well, we had a second guitar player we were going to bring in, a really great guitar player, but we thought about it, and we said if we're going to be a tribute band, we have to mirror the original Pretenders. Even when we set up, we have the guitar players on stage right, just like the original Pretenders, Mage's stage left, Nikki, or I should just say Chrissy, she's playing the same guitar as Chrissy did. Everything right down the line. We're just trying to, my drum kit is set up just like Martin's.
Yeah.
I'll never forget the first night we were at Nightingale Studio in Burbank. We're in room Studio B, and the four of us get together for the first time. We said, all right, what do you want to start with? I said, let's try Brass and Pocket.
Wow.
We were probably a minute into the song, and all of a sudden someone's pounding on the studio door and went, wait, stop. Someone answered the door. Nikki went over and opened the door, and the two bands standing out there, and they're looking in and going, oh my God, we thought it was Chrissy and the Pretenders. This is the first song we had ever tried rehearsing.
Wow.
We knew out of the gate that there was some magic happening in this band too. So,
Yeah.
Here we are today, about 8 months old, and we are just mirroring Pretenders.
So let me ask you, Marko, you said you, of course, you've always been kind of aware of the Pretenders and been a fan, but would you say actually getting the Contenders together and doing this now has made you more of a fan of the Pretenders?
Yeah, it really has. It's opened me up to their music more so. I thought I knew most of their repertoire, but the more I've gone into, like, YouTube videos, that's another thing. We've all sat down and watched them play live, and we've changed a couple of the arrangements of, like, the ends of songs and some of the middle segments that Pretenders would do live, because, once again, we want to really bring that to the forefront. But there were so many deeper songs in their music that were either B-sides or just deep tracks and albums I had never really paid attention to. Up the Neck is one of them that's in our set almost all the time. And I found out from watching live footage of Pretenders, they used to close their show with, that's how big it was. And I had never heard it on the radio.
Wow.
And the songs like Cuban Crisis, Night in My Veins wasn't in our set. We just put it in. Day After Day is another track I wasn't familiar with. 2,000 Miles we thought is kind of their Christmas song, but it's also a great song.
Yeah.
My Baby's another one. We're already playing over 20 songs, and that didn't even make the cut. That's a great song. So yeah, there's a lot of music there to be had.
And so, that's the other thing people don't realize is, like, I've had a lot of guys tell me, there's a lot of homework that goes into this before we even, before a band even did their first show. We go on YouTube, we have to really look and see how each person's playing their instrument and have every detail down to, the clothing and all that and their moves. And I don't think people really realize all the, hard work that goes into a project like this.
I'll never forget last month we were playing Nine on Vine. And at the end of, I think it was Kid, Nikki just went up to the mic and she just went, oh, it's amazing. I heard this on the radio today. She goes, guys, I guess we got a hit record. I mean, she became Chrissy Hines that moment. And I told her, I said, Nikki, you're going to start introduce me as Martin Chambers.
Yeah.
Introduce us as the original members, because if we're going to play the part, I want to be Martin Chambers.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because I've heard a guy like Alice Cooper, when he does interviews, he kind of refers to himself in the third person. He says he's kind of got a schizophrenic thing. He says, like, when I'm on stage, I'm Alice. When I'm off stage, I'm Vince. It's kind of interesting. But let me ask you about that. You guys, like I said, again, look at the pictures. You got to look really down in that. Have you ever, has anybody ever been fooled by thinking of course, you're a tribute act, you don't try to say you're the Pretenders, but...
Oh my God, are you kidding me? When we posted on Facebook that we took the first album cover, and we all dressed up like each one of the members, and John, the guitar player, took a picture of each of us individually, and he placed us in that position.
Yeah.
And we duplicated the first album graphics, and we're in the process right now of shooting the second album cover with us on it, and we're going to use that this summer for our summer tour.
Oh.
And yeah, we've had people come to Nine on Vine. They saw their Facebook ad and they thought it was the Pretenders. They missed the C and Contenders.
The Contenders, yeah. Wow. And so,
but the funny thing is, they weren't disappointed when they heard it. They went, "Oh my God, I guess this is as good as the real thing, or as close as you're gonna get."
Yeah, and I gotta compliment you on the fact that the name, the Contenders, because most tribute bands, they typically name themselves after an album title or a song. I think that's kind of an original thing to kind of play on words, instead of Pretenders, the Pretenders, or something like that, or Pretenders 2, the Contenders. That's kind of an original thing. That's great that you guys went that way.
Well, Contenders is about as close of a sound as Pretenders we to get. But on top of that, we are contending. We're contending to be the Pretenders, you know.
Wow. So sounds like things have just been going great for you guys. So as far as this summer tour, if people want to see where you're playing, the best thing to do would be to go on your Facebook page, right?
Yeah, our Facebook page is basically facebook.com/thecontenderstributeband.com.
And typically after you guys play a show, I imagine you have fans coming up to you after a show when you're walking around the club or whatever. That must be kind of a great feeling.
Well, it was great when we played like the Adrenaline Club in Vegas. We had 3 different promoters come up, and we were playing with a couple of other tribute bands, and they went, "Guys, those bands are great. Those bands are really good, but you guys are frightening because you totally played the part. You were note for note, and you're going to be hearing from us." And that's what we want to hear, because we believe that ourselves. I mean, when we rehearse, we kind of I think they say it, but we kind of wow ourselves.
Yeah.
It's just been such a discovery to tap into the vein of this kind of rock and roll and just feel so close to it.
And I think a great thing about about doing a band like this is it's a great way to keep your musical chops up. I mean, every time you have to get ready for a gig and rehearse, you're constantly playing these songs, and so it's even you must, it helps you in your case become a better drummer, but you're out there playing so much.
Oh yeah, go learn Tattooed Love Boys 7/4. It's insane. Some of their time changes in their music, it's a little complex, but that's what keeps it interesting too.
And let me ask you, obviously this is a tribute band, so like you were saying earlier, it's important to play these songs kind of note for note, but is it ever hard not to kind of to put your own style of playing in there?
No, I've found, some of the songs like My City Is Gone, which a lot of people think the name of it's Ohio, it's got a nice laid-back funk rhythm, and myself and the bass player, Alex, we just get into this funk groove, and we're playing it, and then the guitar breaks. I used to throw all these fills in, and once again, I have to keep it simple. I have to stay in pocket and just play what's there, and especially John, the guitar player. I mean, if he embellishes on a guitar solo, it really, people, like if you went to see a Zeppelin cover band, you're going to want to hear note for note. You're not going to want to hear a Page solo and Stairway do some change up, and you'd be like, "Oh man, that was wrong."
Yeah, what is this?
We've come to learn that note for note is really the way to go. If you're going to be a tribute, it's more of a credit to the band.
And now let me ask you, as far as booking the shows, are you guys kind of booking your own shows right now? Are you looking to get in with I know a lot of these guys get in with like a booking agency. They actually got booking agents that just handle tribute acts and stuff.
Well, we've got our eye open. I've been doing all the booking myself right now, but it's not good enough. I need to find a national agency that can get us on cruises, can book us into some national club tours.
Oh, yeah.
Or either just, like I said, line us up and down the state of California and Arizona and Nevada and put us in casinos and clubs and get us going.
Oh, yeah.
We've really got something rolling right now.
Yeah.
We really want to spread the word.
Yeah, definitely the casinos and these cruises are the latest thing. That'd be I could see you guys would be great on something like that.
Well, Rock is, I'm in the process of talking to Sky Daniels right now at KCSN about doing a KCSN tribute weekend where they can book a couple of outdoor stages, and I'll help them put together. I'll grab a Blondie, I'll grab a Squeeze, I'll grab a Police, I'll grab a Petty, I'll grab the REM, I'll grab a U2. Get 10 or 12 really good tribute bands, and let's get the bands that are KCSN's Gold Library bands, so we're really echoing what the station already plays.
Oh, yeah.
Get their support behind it, and really, make something out of it that might become an annual event.
Now that would be great, and obviously you got the experience, and you've really been able to book the shows. But let me ask you, in your experience with dealing with a lot of these guys, do they ever hassle you with the fact that you're a guy in the band, you should have a manager or something, or
Well, we do get that a little, not yet, because like I said, we're just getting out there. People finally getting to see us, so it's still kind of in its new stage.
Yeah.
Like I said, I would really prefer finding a national agency that wants to book the best of the tribute bands. There is one agency out there, Music Zarconia. I know that's exactly what they do, but I found it really hard to get a hold of anyone there. And they actually already have 2 Cotender bands in their arsenal, but I put myself up against any of them. That's a walk in the park for me.
Yeah, well, I want to say, Mark, it's been so great talking, and it seems like the band's only, you've only been doing it for 8 months, you said, so to speak, but sounds like you're only on your way up. So I want to wish you all the luck with the band, and maybe we can do this again. Now, before we end this, is there anything else you'd like to say to all the people that have been listening?
No, Jason, I want to thank you first of all for the time and the chance to be able to talk to the folks out there. But in all seriousness, I mean, we all have our favorite bands in life, and I've never seen so many people put smiles on their faces going, "Oh my God, I want to go out and dig up all my Pretender albums, or else go out and buy them," because I never knew there was so much great music there. So we're untapping some gold right now, and I'm just glad to be at the forefront of it.
Well, let me tell you, that's a great thing about these tribute acts. Like you were saying, you're a Pretenders fan yourself, and even though they're kind of out there still doing it and touring from time to time, you're helping. Your band is helping to keep a legacy alive. So I think that's a great thing that you guys are doing.
We're sure trying.
And it just shows your love and dedication for the music. So once again, I commend you guys on what you're doing, and best of luck to you. And thank you so much, Mark, for taking time out of your very busy schedule to do this. I can't thank you enough.
Well, the ultimate compliment will be when Christy Hines reaches out for us and goes, "Hey guys, I hear what you're doing, and I like it."
Well, you never know, because I'll tell you, I interviewed this guy the other day that's he's a singer in a Rob Zombie tribute, and he told me Rob Zombie's the guitar player that actually plays with him got in touch with the band, and they invited him. He's going to come down to their next show and play on stage with them. So you just never know.
That would be so awesome to have Chrissy walk on stage some night. That would take my breath away. But you never know. Stranger things have happened, right?
Yeah. And once again, thanks so much. Just to let you know, the interview will probably be going up in about a week or so. The minute it does, I'll let you know, and I'll be sure to send you a MP3 file of the interview, and you can do whatever you want with it. Post on any of your websites. I'll be posting as well, but it's all about your band, so do whatever you want with it, okay? Thanks so much, Marko. You have a nice night.
Thanks so much, Jason. Good night, buddy.
Bye-bye.